710 ESPN Seattle presents Bob and Groz's One More Thing.
Powered by the law offices of Heidi Hunt.
Pro Bowl at last. There's a Seahawk on the Pro Bowl team. There's a Seahawk on the Pro Bowl team.
Potentially six,
but you know, it wasn't until 2008, and I forgot to look up who it was. Lofa? Probably Lofa.
Maybe.
Julian Peterson.
Oh, no, it was Julian Peterson, you're right. And Walter Jones. Julian Peterson and Walter Jones in 2008 was the last time the Seahawks had guys elected to the Pro Bowl. In other words, not guys who got in because of injury. I believe it was the longest drought in the league. So congratulations, first off, to Earl Thomas for that.
Earl Thomas, the lone starter for the Seahawks.
Now, Bob, you brought up a decent question, I thought, on the air today.
Did he have a miraculous season that we missed?
I loved how you put it. He said, did I miss something?
I'm not saying he
watched
was
him all
bad.
year.
No, I think he had a good year. It just wasn't one of those years when you reflect back and you go, wow, Cam Chancellor was huge. You remember all these big hits, and Browner with all the interceptions, and Marshawn with what he did in the second half of the season. You don't immediately go, well, Earl Thomas and...
I almost would have thought his teammate would have gotten it, Cam Chancellor.
Yeah, and it's, again, not a rip on Earl at all, but there just weren't those standout moments where you went, oh, man, remember that game or remember that play? It wasn't one of those years. But obviously, a third of the vote goes to the coaches,
right,
a third to the fans, and a third to the players. So he made an impression on enough people to be named the starter.
Well, we are talking free safety, so technically Cam Chancellor's, where they only pick one guy, would be a strong safety. They picked two at free safety. The other guy was the old Husky, Deshaun Golson, who's had a bunch of interceptions for the 49ers this year. And that's the biggest difference in his game this year versus last year. Last year, I think Earl had five interceptions, and this year he just had two. Though, remember, it was talk about him being like Troy Polamalu when they played the game in Pittsburgh. He happened to make a big play there, and the Mariners don't get back, Seahawks don't get back east that much when they did. The Pittsburgh game wasn't impressive, obviously, but Earl Thomas was. They were impressive against the Giants.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that helped. Usually the Pro Bowl is more about reputation than anything more. He was drafted really highly last year, so he's been on guys' radar, and certainly hasn't slipped. Was big time this year. But I'm with you. I was surprised. I didn't think they'd have anyone, to tell you the truth. And
we thought it'd be the punter. We thought it'd be John Ryan,
who was wound up being like third alternate. And certainly the case could be made for Marshawn Lynch because of and I thought Matt Forte, who had a great year for the 11 games he played, or 12 games that he played. Marshawn Lynch should have been on that team.
Well, we thought if somebody's going to ride momentum into the Pro Bowl, it would have been Marshawn Lynch. If anybody on this team was getting national attention, Thursday night game against the Eagles, the Monday night game against the Rams, it was Marshawn Lynch.
7 of the last 8 games over 100 yards.
Shower. I mean, that whole story.
Touchdown against the Niners, 100 yards against the Niners.
Yeah, so all of the acclaim outside of this market was being heaped upon Marshawn Lynch. So that to me, I would have said, oh, okay, I get that. I think Earl just kind of caught us off guard because as you went through the roster and tried to find the likely or logical guy that would be named a starter, he wasn't the first one that popped to mind.
So it was a nice surprise.
Yeah, hey, congratulations, man.
Absolutely.